When Jesus and his disciples were in Jerusalem, the crowds which had celebrated him on Palm Sunday became fewer and fewer. Jesus retreated with his disciples to an upper room where he shared a meal with them and taught them what it meant to be a servant. Let's experience the story with a woman who was a servant of someone who was very close to Jesus.
Today is the day of the Passover meal. Jesus had asked me to help his disciples, Peter and John, prepare for it. He told them to go into town, and there would be a man carrying a jar of water that would show them to a special room. Well, thoughts were racing through my head immediately. It's like, where will I get the lamb or the bread? Or what about the drink? There was so much that needed to be done to make it just right for Jesus. As we were going on, these thoughts continued in my head. But we got there, we found the room, and we started to prepare. And just at the time we needed something, it arrived. Someone came with the lamb. Someone came with the bread. And someone came with a drink. Everything was provided, just like Jesus said. So we went around preparing the room. I put cushions down for the men to relax on while they were eating. And the table was full. Soon, darkness began to fall, and the disciples started arriving a few at a time. And I let them in, and I motioned them where to go. Finally, Jesus arrived. I greeted him and hoped that he was pleased with everything, although he didn't say anything. I continued to think, what had I forgotten? Had I missed anything? And then it dawned on me, I forgot to get a servant to wash their feet and dry them. How could I have forgotten such an important thing for my Savior? So I grabbed the basin, put water in it, and started in there. But Jesus stopped me. He took the water and he took the towel. And he returned to his disciples. And he sat down to begin to wash their feet. Some of them objected, mostly because they didn't understand. But he told them no, he needed to do this. So he washed their feet. And then he went to the table and explained to them. They didn't understand now, but someday they would. And he had given them an example of how they were to serve one another. And then he took the cup and the bread, and he shared it with them and encouraged them to remember this moment and to remember him. We now call this communion. I watched and I listened. I didn't understand everything I had heard or seen, but I will never forget.
I wonder if you have ever had someone who washed your feet or your hands. I wonder how that felt. I wonder if you have ever experienced communion. Perhaps you have participated in communion, or maybe you have simply watched as others have taken communion around you. I wonder how God may have come close to you through the story of Jesus and his disciples in the upper room. How can you serve someone this week? Blessings and peace to you.